a man named Dwight, who had been serving his sentence in Central Jail for almost 25 years and had now turned 75 years old, and today he was finally going to get bail. Then a car arrives to pick him up from the jail, in which he soon reaches a very large mansion where the biggest mafia family of the city used to live. Actually, in earlier times, Dwight used to work for the leader of that family, The Rock, and both of them had built this mafia group from scratch to such a huge level. Anyway, for now, The Rock and along with him Chicky welcomed Dwight after seeing him. During their conversation, Dwight comes to know that at present, because Rock had grown old, all the things were being handled by Chicky. At the same time, it also becomes clear that the crime for which Dwight had been living in jail like it was a shelter for so long was actually not committed by him, but by Chicky. But at that time, to save Chicky, Dwight had taken all the blame upon himself. Because of this, Dwight was now expecting that Chicky or Rock would happily give him a very big area to control. But Chicky actually knew that Dwight was very intelligent and could easily grow his own business even bigger than theirs. That is why he deliberately tells Dwight to go to a village named Tulsa to expand the business. But as soon as Dwight hears the name Tulsa, he gets angry and starts scolding Chicky a lot. Because actually, Tulsa was a very small village, and therefore the chances of growth there were almost zero. But seeing Dwight behave like this, Chicky's right-hand man, Simon, gets angry at Dwight, due to which Dwight in anger punches him right in the face in front of everyone. Now at that time, all of Rock's men pointed guns at Dwight, but since Dwight was truly a very good friend of Rock, Rock himself comes in between and calms everyone down. And then Dwight, even though he did not want to, leads from there in anger to go to Tulsa. After coming out of Tulsa's airport, Dwight meets a cab driver named Tyson, who takes his luggage and starts driving him toward a hotel. At that time, Tyson, seeing Dwight's look, compliments him that he actually looks like a very big mafia. But Tyson had no idea that Dwight really used to be a very big mafia in the past. While talking about this, as they were going toward the hotel, suddenly Dwight's eyes fall on a weed shop there, where it was clearly written that all kinds of weed were available there. Seeing this, Dwight was completely shocked, and for now, after talking to Tyson, he comes to know that selling weed in Tulsa was completely legal. Hearing this, Dwight gets very excited and gives Tyson some money to wait outside for a while, and then he himself goes inside that weed shop to check it out. After going there, he directly starts asking the people working there about the owner of that place. At first, the security guard there comes and starts getting aggressive at him, but as soon as Dwight, in anger, throws a bottle at his face, the owner of that place named Bodie himself comes out from the inside office in front of Dwight. Now, Bodie initially thinks that Dwight has come to rob them, but for now, while talking to him, Dwight goes inside his office and starts looking at Bodie's financial data. Then he finds out that Bodie could take all the money in cash, and most of his money was kept in a safe present in his office itself. Now, since Dwight had come there to become a mafia, he starts his collection business first from Bodie and tells him to give 20% of his weekly earnings as protection money. Now, obviously, at first, Bodie does not agree to this, but when Dwight promises him that he will take its business to the next level and also give him protection, then unwillingly, out of fear, Bodie agrees to this. Hearing this, Dwight immediately takes 20% of this week's earnings from his safe and first gives it to Tyson, and also hires Tyson as his assistant on a salary of $2,000 per week. Even for now, he wanted Tyson to use the money he had given him to buy a black Navigator car for him. So Tyson happily drops him at the hotel and goes to buy the black Navigator car. Now, since the hotel was actually quite decent, Dwight, while exploring the town, reaches a bar nearby owned by a man named Mitch. After he goes there, some people sitting there start praising Dwight a lot after seeing his look. So Dwight arranges free rum for them, and later, while drinking, he starts talking to Mitch. Then after talking to him for some time, Dwight goes back to his hotel and rests, and the next morning when he was waiting outside for Tyson, Tyson comes there with another car, because when he had gone to a car showroom of a man named Tony, due to him being black and having a lot of money, Tony had refused to give him a car and had also said a lot of bad things to him. After hearing this, Dwight gets very angry that how could someone misbehave so badly with his assistant. So immediately, to take revenge for Tyson's insult, he goes with Tyson to Tony's showroom. Seeing Dwight's good look, Tony greets him very kindly, but first of all, he beats him very badly, and then clearly explains to him that from now on, whenever Tyson comes to his showroom to buy any car, he will not refuse him for anything. Then unwillingly, Tony agrees to this, and after taking the black Navigator car from there, Dwight and Tyson go to a nearby mall to eat ice cream to celebrate. Now inside that mall, a man named Armand was also present, who gets very shocked after seeing Dwight and keeps staring at him repeatedly while avoiding eye contact. But for now, Dwight does not pay any attention to this, and from there goes straight with Tyson to Bodie. After talking to him for some time, he decides that to earn more profit, he will directly go and talk to the person from whom Bodie used to buy goods. At the same time, he also suggests to Bodie that he should not keep so much money inside the shop. But Bodie finds all these things very strange, that suddenly an outsider had come and was claiming control over his business and also giving him suggestions. But for now, he is unable to say anything in front of Dwight. And Dwight goes outside and first tells Tyson to shift his luggage to a very big hotel, and for now he himself goes to Mitch's bar to enjoy a bit. There, he comes to know many things about Mitch, like Mitch used to do bull riding in earlier times, but due to getting heavily into drugs in between, he had gone to jail many times, and after coming out, due to losing his popularity, he started running this bar. Now, in between their conversation, suddenly a woman named Stacy arrives, who, because of Dwight's cool look, invites him to party with her and her friends, and then they take him to a very big strip club, where Stacy and all her friends happily start enjoying, and Dwight sits nearby watching them. But suddenly, a man comes there and starts harassing one of the girls. Seeing this, Dwight gets angry and beats that man very badly, and later comes back and sits on his chair again. Now, because of his caring nature, Stacy starts liking him, so both of them go to a nearby hotel and make out with each other. And truly, when Stacy wakes up in the morning, she feels very good. But as soon as she talks to Dwight and comes to know about his age, Stacy feels very shy and leaves from there. And according to her, she was never going to meet Dwight again. But Dwight does not care about this at all, because now he was already making a lot of money by working in Tulsa. Now, the next day, early in the morning, when Stacy goes to her FBI office, she is told about a very big criminal who had recently been released from jail and had now come directly to Tulsa. After seeing his face, Stacy is completely shocked because that man was none other than Dwight. But unaware of all these things, Dwight was now thinking about contacting his daughter, with whom he had not talked to for more than 25 years, and he had also refused to let her come to the jail during her childhood so that she would not accidentally come into the sight of his enemies and later become their target. Then, after finding information about her, she comes to know that she had now gotten married and had twin children. But to know her number and address, he had to pay a fee of $10, which could only be paid through a credit or debit card. But since such things did not exist before he went to jail, he gets frustrated and goes to a nearby coffee shop to lighten his mood. There, he meets a woman named Spencer who works there. Now, because of his blunt nature, he tells Spencer that he did not like the cups of that cafe at all, and after asking to change them, immediately leaves from there. Meanwhile, Stacy was trying to find out more things about Dwight from one of her colleagues, and then she comes to know that Dwight had been sent to jail 25 years ago for killing 2 people, where he had also faced many attacks, but he had taught his enemies a very good lesson. Now, from the way Stacy was talking, her FBI friend understands that she must have made out with Dwight the night before, so Stacy makes some excuses and cuts the call and immediately goes to her therapist. Meanwhile, after coming out of the cafe, Dwight sees a happy family, after which he starts thinking about his own family.
Suddenly, Dwight's eyes fall on a very beautiful horse across the road, and seeing it, he feels very happy and out of joy tries to give a lot of money to an old woman standing nearby. Seeing this, the old woman gets shocked and quietly leaves from there, and then Dwight also leaves. Meanwhile, when Stacy was talking to her therapist, it becomes clear from her words that she had recently gotten divorced because her husband was cheating on her and also used to beat her. That was the reason her mind remained very disturbed, and for now she had also told her therapist about Dwight. On the other side in the city, Simon was still very angry because of Dwight's actions, and since Dwight had punched him in front of everyone, he wanted to take revenge from him. So he goes and talks to Chicky about it, but since Dwight was actually a very good friend of Rock, Chicky could not directly interfere in this matter. On the other side, when Dwight meets Tyson suggests him to open a bank account for which he could easily get a debit or credit card. So first, to collect money, Dwight goes to Bodhi's shop, from where he again takes his 20% cut and then goes straight to the bank. There, after talking to a customer service person, he comes to know that he needs a driving license to open an account. Now, Dwight did have a driving license, but it had expired 20 years ago, and now he needed a new driving license to open a bank account. While talking about this, Dwight and Tyson leave from there, and Dwight decides to give the driving test the next day. Meanwhile, Armand, the same man who had seen Dwight in the mall, was still very worried because Dwight had come to the town and for some reason was keeping a close eye on him. The next day when Dwight has a learning test, he does not know any answers, so he threatens a kid sitting next to him and copies all his answers, and later goes to get his photo clicked for his learning license slip. At that time, he was getting his photo taken as if his criminal identity was being made, but realizing this, he immediately goes to the woman sitting at the reception from where he gets his learning. But his actual driving license test was scheduled after 2 weeks. But since the Mafia does not like to wait, and Dwight also had a lot of money at the moment, he gives some money to the receptionist and gets the date fixed for 2 days later, and the work that was supposed to be done after 2 weeks gets done within just 2 days. Anyway, with the help of his learning license, he easily gets his credit card made. After getting it, he comes comes outside and first informs Chicky about the business going on here, because even after doing business here, he had to give some percentage share to Chicky. And then after talking to Chicky, he also comes to know that Simon is still very angry because of his actions. But maybe after taking $100,000, his anger would calm down. Then Dwight agrees to give him $100,000, and after that he goes straight to his hotel. But suddenly Stacy arrives there. After talking to her, Dwight comes to know that Stacy is actually an FBI officer. But according to Dwight, he had not come there to do any illegal work, so Stacy or her department would not have any trouble from him. But even then, Stacy warns him that if he tries to commit any crime there, then she would not be able to help him in any situation. Now at the present time, Tyson was very happy working with Dwight. But his father was not happy with this at all. And according to him, Tyson should have completed his studies first, but for now Tyson does not agree to this and starts washing Dwight's car right outside his house. And now, as earlier Dwight had decided together with Bodhi that to grow his business he would directly go to Jimmy and make a proper deal. So the next day he reaches near Jimmy's fields, where Jimmy's wheat farming was actually very large and he had a lot of stock. After going there, first Dwight gets into an argument with a man working in the fields, but meanwhile Bodhi and Jimmy arrive there, who somehow calm Dwight down and take him inside Jimmy's house with them. There, while having breakfast, Dwight directly offers Jimmy that he will also help sell his goods in New York. In return, he was going to buy 300 bags of wheat from him every month, in which for the first 10 bags he would pay $1,200 as usual, for the next 10 bags $1,000, and after that for the next 10 bags only $1,000. Even apart from these bags, he was going to pay only $750 for the remaining 270 bags. Now after hearing this, Bodhi felt that maybe Jimmy would refuse this deal. But Jimmy actually had very large farms and he could not sell so much wheat to anyone else. Thinking this, he easily agrees to Dwight's deal, and Bodhi was also very happy because now he was going to get wheat at a much cheaper rate, and Dwight would always give him protection. Just then, suddenly Dwight starts getting a hangover, and then Jimmy laughingly tells him that he had mixed his new product in the breakfast as well. After hearing this, Dwight starts laughing a lot, and even while going back home, he keeps laughing, because Jimmy's product was actually of very good quality, and Dwight also liked Jimmy's nature a lot. Meanwhile, by now, Armand had found out which hotel Dwight was staying in, and after knowing this, he became very angry. But Dwight had no idea about this, and using his credit card, first he finds his daughter's number and immediately dials it. At that time, his daughter's phone was picked up by his son-in-law Emery, who immediately gives the phone to Dwight's daughter. But as soon as Tina hears Dwight's name, she gets very angry and tells him not to call again and cuts the phone in anger. Because of Tina's behavior, Dwight feels very bad, so he goes out for a walk while being disturbed. There, looking at the sky, he starts blaming himself for all these things. Anyway, the next day, Stacy and her entire team were outside a house inside which a very dangerous criminal was sitting. But even after the FBI team calls him many times, that man named Ron does not come out of his house. But suddenly his eyes fall on a man named Colin arriving there, who was actually Ron's boss and had come there to give him instructions that now he could not escape from the FBI at any cost. But Stacy was thinking him as a normal man, so she immediately sends Colin away. But after he leaves, first Ron releases all the dogs in his house outside, and immediately after that, he blows up the entire house along with himself using a bomb. Seeing this, Ron immediately escapes from there on his bike, and after seeing all this, Stacy becomes very scared. On the other side, Dwight had again come to Spencer's cafe to drink coffee. From there again he sees that same beautiful horse across the road. After talking to Spencer about it, Dwight comes to know that the horse actually lived in a nearby ranch and its owner used to leave it free early in the morning. After seeing it, Dwight feels a little motivated and immediately calls Tyson and starts practicing for his driving test using his car. But during that time, after listening to Tyson, Dwight starts feeling that introducing him to all these things at such a young age is actually very wrong. So he tells Tyson to run all this as a side business, and according to him, Tyson's main goal should be to study properly and get a good job. Tyson agrees to this, and for now, while talking, they reach Bodhi's shop, where due to a festival nearby, many people had come to party. There, Dwight sees most of the kids taking drugs by sniffing something in a balloon, and after talking to Bodhi, he comes to know that the kids were actually taking nitrous oxide. They used to get $5 for selling one balloon, and at the place where the festival was held, one balloon used to sell for $10. But actually that area belonged to another gang, due to which Bodhi was not allowed to sell balloons there during the festival. Otherwise, the other gang would come and trouble him badly. But according to Dwight, all these things were very easy for him. So he promises Bodhi that this time they would sell a lot of balloons at the festival. And after saying this, he immediately goes to Mitch. Actually, Mitch could easily order nitrous oxide cylinders under his name of his bar. So Dwight includes him in his plan as well and promises him a cut, and then Mitch immediately agrees to do the work. Anyway, the next day was Dwight's driving test, which a man named Bob comes to take. And for now, after seeing Dwight's age, he was very happy. Actually, for a long time, he had been taking tests of kids who neither talked properly nor knew how to drive properly. Now, as the test starts, Armand, the same man who was not happy with Dwight coming to this place, wears a mask and suddenly starts following Dwight's car. At the beginning of the test, Dwight was driving very well. But when he stops near a traffic signal, suddenly Armand's car comes beside his car and Armand fires many bullets towards Dwight's car. At that time, Dwight somehow manages to save himself and Bob, but as soon as Armand leaves from there, Dwight also starts chasing him with his car. During this, things get completely chaotic. At one point, Dwight even hits Armand's car, but Armand somehow manages to escape. Seeing this, Dwight becomes very angry. But for now, because Bob was injured and bleeding from his head, Dwight uses that blood to write Armand's car number on his car's glass. After which the police arrive there and take him to the police station, thinking that maybe some enemy from 25 years ago was trying to kill him.
But according to Dwight, the attack on him happened because of Bob, because earlier Bob had failed many people in driving tests and maybe one of them wanted revenge. Anyway, after hearing his statement, the police leave from there. On the other side, Armand becomes so scared after Dwight survives that he takes his car to a deserted area and burns it badly to destroy evidence. Meanwhile, as soon as Stacy comes to know that Dwight is in the police station, she first gets him released, and later both of them go to a hotel to relax a bit. There, after talking to Stacy, Dwight comes to know that earlier she also used to work in the New York Police Department, but during the 9/11 case, she was there, and later her seniors, to save their own jobs, deliberately transferred her and sent her to Tulsa. Anyway, to lighten her mood, Dwight takes her straight to a hotel room where they spend the whole night together, and in the morning, Stacy laughingly decides that they will never do such exercise again. Now, after Stacy leaves, Dwight feels that the attack on him was probably done by Simon, so he directly calls Chicky and starts abusing him a lot. But according to Chicky, Simon could not have done this, so for now, Dwight believes him, but at the same time, he warns him that if by chance either Chicky or Simon had any hand in the attack on him, he would not spare Chicky at any cost. Meanwhile, in her office, Stacy suddenly finds out that the man named Colin who had come there before the explosion that day was actually the leader of the Black Adam Boker gang, and Ron also used to work for him. Ron already had many criminal charges on him, but because of his influence, no one had been able to arrest him yet. But this time, Stacy was determined to find such evidence that Colin would never be able to come out of jail. Now, at the present time, Dwight wanted to find out about that car driver at any cost, so he takes a lot of money and flowers and reaches the hospital to meet Bob, because Bob had been seriously injured due to Dwight's rough driving. Now, since Bob had come to know about Dwight's truth, he was very scared after seeing him, but Dwight talks to him politely and gives him a lot of money, in return for which he wants to find out the location of that car as soon as possible with Bob's help, the car from which that man had fired at Dwight. Then, unwillingly, Bob agrees to do this work. After that, Dwight goes from there with Tyson straight to a cafe. There, first of all, he gives a lot of money to Tyson because he had already been attacked once and he did not want to put Tyson's life in danger. But Tyson wanted to work with him at any cost, so unwillingly, Dwight has to keep him with him. And for now, he tells Tyson to bring a new Navigator car using the money he has. Meanwhile, Stacy goes near that house to find some clues, which Ron had blown up along with himself. But there, she finds no one except a dog. Seeing that dog, she feels a little pity and decides to keep it and takes it home with her. On the other side, by now, Bob had sent Dwight the location of that car which she was looking for, so Dwight immediately reaches there with Tyson. Now, at that time, after seeing the car, he does not understand anything because the car was not in Armand's name. But luckily, he finds a small burnt cloth inside the car on which there was a logo of a nearby ranch, which meant that whoever attacked Dwight must be working in that ranch. So Dwight goes directly to that ranch and starts talking to its owner, Margaret. There, at first, Margaret tells him that she had 300 workers and all of them wore the same uniform. But because Dwight's way of talking was quite dangerous, he soon impresses Margaret as well, and from the next moment, she starts talking to him with a smile. On the other side, Tyson goes to his house and starts acting as if he has a gun in his hand, seeing which his father Mark is very upset. Meanwhile, after talking to Margaret, Dwight comes to know about Armand that earlier he used to have a car like that. So in the evening, Dwight stands outside the ranch and waits for Armand to come out. During that time, he receives a call from Stacy who tells him about her dog and asks him to come to her house. But at that moment, Armand comes out of the ranch, so Dwight tells Stacy that he is busy and then follows Armand to his house. There, when he sees that Armand lives with his entire family, Dwight does not understand why such a family man would try to kill him. Anyway, for now, Dwight does nothing and Armand continues his normal life. The next day, also, he goes to work on time, and when he returns home, he suddenly sees his neighbor's dog poop in his garden, as the neighbor's dog often came there to relieve itself. Now, Armand wanted to say a lot to his neighbor, but somewhere he was very cowardly, so for now he does nothing and goes toward his car to take his belongings. But suddenly, Dwight comes there and holds him at gunpoint and takes Armand inside his house and starts questioning him as to why he wanted to kill him. But according to Armand, Dwight himself had come to Tulsa to kill him. After hearing this, Dwight is completely shocked because he himself did not know anything about this. Then Armand explains that earlier he also used to work in Rock's gang and knew Dwight very well. But later, when Dwight was in jail, Rock had tried to get him killed in jail because both Chicky and Rock were afraid that to save his life, Dwight might reveal the truth to the police and get Chicky imprisoned. That means all the attacks that happened on Dwight in jail were actually done by Rock. After knowing this, the ground slips from under Dwight's feet. Then Armand further tells him that since Rock had deliberately tried to kill Dwight, even though Dwight was his most loyal man, Armand also developed trust issues and left the gang, and later came to Tulsa to live a decent life. That is why when he saw Dwight in Tulsa, he thought Rock or Chicky had sent him there to kill him. Then Dwight clears everything to him about why he had come to Tulsa, and for now he even includes Armand in his team. But since Armand had deliberately tried to attack Dwight, Dwight was now going to take $300 every week from Armand as compensation, to which unwillingly Armand agrees. Just then, suddenly Armand's wife arrives there. Dwight leaves after seeing that, and for now, after assessing Armand's condition, he starts taking care of him. Meanwhile, Dwight heads straight to Mitch, where Mitch had, as instructed, arranged 30 cylinders of nitrous oxide. Seeing that, Dwight immediately instructs Buddy and Tyson to take the cylinders at night and sell them near the festival. Initially, Buddy is quite scared, but he follows Dwight's orders and takes 10 cylinders to start selling at the festival. Their business is actually running very well today, but suddenly 2 members of the Baker gang try to stop them from selling nitrous oxide there. However, Tyson sternly scolds them in Dwight's name and ignores them completely, continuing their business. That's why the Baker gang members leave the place, and being the only players there, Tyson and Buddy earn a lot of money. Meanwhile, Armand musters the courage and tells his wife everything about his past life, leaving her completely shocked, because she had always considered Armand a very decent man. Before their marriage, from the first time she met Armand, he had seemed extremely decent. For now, Armand's wife feels that Dwight is a serious threat to Armand and urges him to move to another city. But Armand is confused about what he should do in this situation. The next morning, Tyson happily goes to Dwight and gives him all the money from last night's business. Seeing that, Dwight feels very good and for now gives Tyson some money and also gives him a ring that Rock had gifted to Dwight in the past. But now that Dwight knows the truth about Rock from Armand, he no longer has any feelings for the gift. Meanwhile, Coin also learns about the incident from the previous night, and he has 2 gang members brutally beaten by the rest of the gang for what happened. At that time, Roxy, Coin's right-hand woman, was present and aware of everything about Coin. Meanwhile, Dwight suddenly starts thinking about Tina and calls his sister Jonah. That's when he learns that Dwight's older brother Joey's condition is very serious, and Jonah, along with Tina, are on their way to his house. Knowing this, Dwight wants to go himself, but Jonah stops him because Tina would not feel good about his presence and she would create unnecessary drama. Dwight agrees for now. Later that night, when Buddy and Tyson go to sell balloons near the festival, the Baker gang attacks them, beats them up, and takes their money and tanks. When Dwight learns about this, he gets extremely angry. After finding out some details about Coin, he decides to attack Coin's gang at any cost to retrieve his goods and money. He calls Armand to prepare for the fight at night and informs Chimmy, who also comes to support him. For now, Tyson goes home to rest. His mother treats him with medicine after checking his condition, but his father, Mark, is extremely worried and urges him to stay away from such activities. Tyson doesn't respond properly to his father. Seeing this, Mark angrily reminds him how much money he has spent on Tyson since his education in childhood. This hits Tyson's ego, and he immediately throws money from his pocket at Mark. Angered, Mark kicks him out of his house, but Tyson doesn't care and heads straight to Mitch's bar, where Dwight and the rest are planning to attack Coin's gang. Mitch wants to join them, but Dwight stops him as Mitch had already been to jail once and things are going well for him now. Meanwhile, Jami arrives with his caretaker. They are about to head towards Coin's hideout when Mark also arrives. He requests Dwight not to involve his son in such work as the previous night he had been beaten by some gang members. Dwight explains that they are going to settle the score, and Mark decides to join them. They soon reach the Baker gang's hideout. Dwight gives sticks from his bag to everyone, and inside the hideout, they beat up every visible member of the Baker gang. Mark enthusiastically helps Tyson whenever a gang member attacks him. Armand and Dwight also brutally beat up all the gang members and retrieve their money, cylinders, and even their lost honor. Afterwards, they return to the bar. Dwight tries to give Mark some money for helping, but Mark refuses, realizing that Tyson will always be safe with Dwight. He tells Tyson to return home on time and leaves. Dwight gives Armand some money and reminds him that he must pay Dwight $300 every week. Meanwhile, Stacy arrives back and meets a man she likes instantly, brings him home to exercise together. Back at Dwight's house, Jonah calls him via video to show her brother Joey for the last time, as he is about to pass away. Dwight becomes very emotional, remembering all the mischiefs he and Joey did together in childhood. After Joey's passing, Dwight decides to go to New York secretly to attend his brother's funeral properly. Later, when Armand returns home, he sees a neighbor's dog poop in his garden and angrily goes to scold the neighbor with a shoe. His wife witnesses this aggressive side of Armand and is shocked, as she had only ever seen him calm before. Armand decides not to leave the city and resolves not to fear anyone. Meanwhile, Dwight visits Joey's funeral, meets Jonah, and feels good. But whenever he looks at Tina, he sees clear hatred in her eyes. He talks to Jonah about Tina's family and learns that Tina's husband, Omri, is a good man, running his own finance business. Tina also owns a large flower shop and takes care of her 2 children. After explaining this, Jonah goes inside to work and Dwight follows her. Meanwhile, Coyne learns about his men being beaten and immediately sends someone to a police officer he knows who usually receives weekly bribes. Coyne's pressure on the police leads them to arrest Tyson with Dwight's vehicle without a warrant. Tyson first tries calling Dwight from the police station, but Dwight is busy at the funeral and doesn't answer. Later, Chicky calls Dwight and upon learning that he is in New York, angrily tells him to come to the hospital where Rock is admitted. Although Dwight informs Chicky that he is at his brother's funeral, Chicky is uninterested in all that. And with that, Season 1 comes to an end. Now the question arises, will the police hand Tyson over to Coyne or will he be killed in jail? And will Dwight leave his brother's funeral to go to Chicky? You will find answers to all these questions in its 2nd season. And should I bring the 2nd season? Comment below.